No one talks about the cost of survival. The praise you received for being strong was just silence rewarded. The life you built to look whole was just the fortress to hide the fracture. Survival makes you clever, but it also makes you forget what it feels to be alive. You didn't learn to live, you learned to adapt. You didn't grow up feeling safe, you grew up managing threats. And somewhere along the way, you became excellent at everything except knowing yourself. You weren't being dramatic, you were being strategic. You stayed quiet because speaking up meant war. You became funny because being sad made people leave. You became helpful because it was the only way to be wanted. These weren't habits, they were shields. You built a self the world could tolerate and exiled the parts it couldn't. Here's what no one tells you. The patterns that once kept you safe are now keeping you stuck. And every time you keep the peace by betraying yourself, you teach your body that your truth is dangerous. Somatic psychology tells us that the body doesn't forget what it once feared. Even if the danger is gone, your coping will stay until you teach it otherwise. You didn't chase success for pride. You chased it for permission to exist, to be enough, to stop being a burden. You learned to earn love. You learned to achieve instead of rest, to produce instead of feel. And so you collected praise like a child hoards candy, as proof you were good enough that day. But the truth is, you've built empires but cannot sleep. You've won awards but feel like a fraud. You're admired but terrified of being seen. Because deep down, you still believe you're only worthy if you're useful. So what happens if your titles disappear today? Your job, your praise, the things you've built to prove you're lovable. Would you still know how to love yourself? Or would you feel like a failure for simply being? This is the guilt no one sees, the guilt you didn't earn, but inherit. The guilt of being too much for a tired parent. The guilt of growing while your family stayed behind. The guilt of dreaming beyond what they were allowed to have. You flinch when good things come because someone you loved never had them. You shrink to stay loyal to the pain. But that's not loyalty, that's inherited bondage. What do you do when life expands, but your worth still feels small? You confuse sacrifice with love. You confuse suffering with loyalty. And the worst part, you feel responsible for fixing a story you didn't write. Whose suffering are you still trying to make up for? Whose dreams died so yours could live? Are you still shrinking to match the grief they never healed? And when joy finally shows up, you brace for the fall. Because sorrow is familiar, peace is suspicious. You reject good things, not because you don't want them, but because you don't believe they'll stay. Or worse, that you deserve them. Abuse isn't always loud. Sometimes it's silence that bruises you. It's the birthday they forgot, the tears they mocked, the needs they call too much. It's love with rules. It's kindness with conditions. It's punishment disguised as discipline. It's the "I'm doing this for your own good" that made you feel unlovable. And the worst part, you can't prove you were hurt, but the hurt rewrote your life. What do you call it when they hit you? But the real bruise was when they said, "It was your fault." Some of us were never hit and still learned to hate ourselves. Some of us were, and we're taught to call it love. Healing isn't becoming someone new. It's remembering who you were before you had to perform to be safe. You've suffered enough. You've achieved enough. You've earned your softness. It's time to stop surviving, to stop apologizing for who you had to become to be loved. You say you're healing, but your inner child is still waiting in the room you locked for years. Every time you ignore your needs, you leave them there again. If they walked in now, would they feel safe with you? Would they even recognize who you've become? Or would they see the same silence that once made them small?